Thank you so much for your time. Ubuntu is greatly spoken about as a moral philosophy that encourages harmony, peace, and justice. But we often forget that Ubuntu has a long history, a deep history that includes war, that includes the figure of the warrior in so many different ways. How can we recover that history? And how can we do so in a way that overcomes the ways in which peace has assumed in certain instances a certain coloniality, has become in certain instances a way to put down voices of resistance, voices that would insist upon a more just peace. Ubuntu is for warriors too. The book, Ubuntu for Warriors, introduces us, once again, reintroduces us to figures such as King Shaka of the Zulu, who in many ways we will demonstrate has been forgotten, has been misrepresented, has been appropriated in so many ways by colonial projects. How do we recover King Shaka and his memory and the traditions to which he belonged as we attempt to build new African identities that are beautiful, powerful, and that work towards peace and justice? We will talk about Nelson Mandela. We will remember the Nelson Mandela who was a freedom fighter, even as we remember Nelson Mandela who was a peacemaker. We will appreciate Archbishop Desmond Tutu as a champion of Christian values who also championed Ubuntu, peace and justice. And we will attempt to understand how his idea of Ubuntu differs, for example, from the ideas of Ubuntu that were expressed by Winnie Madikizela Mandela, a woman who was denigrated by so many in her lifetime because perhaps she was a woman, because perhaps we no longer know how to value women who take on the role of the warrior. We will rethink the figure of Kenneth Kaunda, recognize how this former president of Zambia, a pacifist, nevertheless decided to support warriors as they fought for freedom in so many different ways. How he theorized Ubuntu as a key early theorist of Ubuntu in ways that accounted for the need in certain circumstances to make use of violence. We will recall Steve Bantu Biko and his ideas of Black consciousness, his realization that, yes, Black is beautiful, but that idea of a beautiful Blackness can only truly be embraced by people who, in certain instances, know how to fight. How do we learn to fight correctly, appropriately, in ways that advance peace and justice? How do we learn to make peace? When do we make peace? Why do we make peace? How do we preserve peace? These and many other questions are key to the book, Ubuntu for Warriors. I invite you to get a copy of the book and to join me on this journey of re-exploring, rethinking, once again making Ubuntu capacious, big enough, broad enough, wide enough to express the kinds of futures that we as Africans aspire to. I thank you.